My son came in my room the other day. He got out the shower. He had a towel on. He had the shit up around his chest. I'm like, bro, you don't have titties, bro. He was like, oh, my bad. I'm like, bruh. I called his mom, I'm like, hey, we got to kind of start watching some of those, man. I'm pretty sure he got that from you. She's like, yeah, I get it, but that ain't no big deal, though. I'm like, no. But it is, because he's not going to just stop doing that shit for no reason. Like, we got to stop assuming he going to grow out of shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop assuming that he going to wake up one day and just be different and be disciplined and clean up after himself and separate his drawers from his pants and shit. Like, we got to get on his ass about that shit right now. Like, and it got to be a team effort. It's a difference between co-parenting and sharing a child. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Co-parenting is, hey,
we're both on the same page.
We on the same page. He got a routine over here. Yes. He got the same routine over there. Yes. He can't eat bullshit over here after a certain time. He can't eat bullshit over. He only video games on the weekend. Both houses. But if it's discipline and routines over here, video games only on weekends over here, and over there he can do what the fuck he want. We not co-parenting. We just sharing the kid. That's, you know what I'm saying? And what they end up learning is, it's not that I can't do this. It's that I can't do this around him. You know what I'm saying?
And now you the villain.
Yeah. And what you also, like, if I'm making him clean up after himself at my house, and then you not, when he gets with a girl, he gonna be like, well, regardless of what my daddy told me, my mama cleaned up after me. So now he leaving his drawers on the floor at Shorty crib, and she gonna be like, nigga, what the fuck you got going on? What you think this is?
There's times in my life where I wasn't ready to receive information. Sometimes you're just not in the place, no matter how clear it is or what people are saying, to receive information.
I'm your professor, I will test you in the worst way. Don't bring a scantron, it's pop quizzes all day. Cause of our chemistry, we do biology. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More importantly, you saw that clip. Yo, man, listen. Yeah, man, I agree 100%. And this is why, people used to say it takes a village to raise a child. This is why the village don't work no more. Because what happens is you create these kids who don't really have manners and consideration, because they can act one way with one person and one way with another person. And part of the thing that he's talking about, and I dealt with it, is it creates animosity between the father and the son, because mothers predominantly have custody, right? So the animosity is, I get to do what I want over there, but now you're gonna tell me what to do. And if you have a bad mother or a bad baby mama, she's gonna make it worse on you, and ultimately make it worse on herself, because she's gonna teach the kid, yeah, look, that's what they do over there, but you do what they say you do over there, but you ain't really got to do all that with me. So some of these ladies teach their kids to be disrespectful and inconsiderate. And in a minute that there's a rule or a consequence, it's an issue. And I've been there, like, I've had it, like, I've been through a lot of those different things where I wanted my son to have a certain bedtime. His mother didn't. This was when he was younger. So she wanted to be up all night. So he get to be up all night. And it was a problem, right? So much so a problem that he got kicked out of daycare as a child, because he was up when all the other kids were asleep, because all the other kids had a schedule, right? To the point he got kicked out because he was acting up. And it didn't kick in for his mother until she worked a different job that she couldn't be up all night. And now she got to put him to bed at a certain time, and it's not working, right? So it's the same thing that goes with having manners. You tell a kid, you ain't got to do what they say over there, or you ain't got to, you don't do nothing till I say so. So I've been in those situations where my kid's mother told him, when you go over there, you ain't got to listen to nobody. So anywhere that I would take him, he wouldn't listen to nobody. Like, he don't even remember this. He might not even remember that, but I remember having to take him to summer camps and daycares, and they would tell me, yeah, he says he ain't got to listen to nobody but his mama. To the point that it spilled over to her, because at a certain point, I ain't got to listen to you. You know what? Let's just move this forward to I ain't got to listen to you either. And then it's a problem, right? That's what he's talking about. Like, that becomes sharing a kid. And then you got those instances where I would do certain things with him and she didn't like it, quote unquote. And then he was like on a schedule and on a program with me. And then he got back there and the schedule and program worked for her. So what she would do was she would just tear down and scrap whatever I had taught him to do. And then turn around and teach him the same thing that I just taught him to do. So it could be like she taught him, right? And it's like you're freaking stupid. But then let me fast forward. Like, when I see this, because I see this with other people and their kids, where, as he was talking about, not cleaning up after yourself, not doing things. I know grown men who act like that with grown women, like 40s, 50s, 60s, who don't pick up after themselves because they blame it on what their mom used to do. Like, people don't believe that, but it's true, right? So when people say, no, we got to nip this in the bud, a lot of times these mothers don't listen. But then you see your grown child still acting like your child who's an adult still acting like a child, and you just gonna sit there with a dumb face, like, because sometimes you can say, they were raised better than that, but a lot of the times that's actually how they were raised. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes an issue. It really becomes an issue. And then you go out into society, and the world is not going to deal with that. And it's one of those things where you've been warned time and time again, this is a bad idea. But because you want to do it your way, because it was easier for you at the time, you did it your way. And then, a lot of times it all comes to a head teenage years, because you let's just say from birth to 10, 12, you've taught a lot of bad habits. And now you want to reverse. Now you, as the custodial parent, as the mom in that situation, now you want to reverse those bad habits. But what you forget to tell yourself is those bad habits are your child's norm, because you taught them at 2 that was okay, at 4 this was okay, at 6 this was okay, at 8 this was okay, at 10 this was okay, and at 12 this was okay. And now all of these things are bunched up to having a kid that's not really doing the right things. And then you want somebody else, y'all got to fix this. And they can't fix it because, like you said, you just sharing a child at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, it's like you raise the kid to be a certain way, and their normal is dysfunction. And now you're trying to tell them to be functional, but you're the one who taught them to dysfunction. And they looking at you like, but you still like this. And mom can't say, yeah, I'm like this at home, but I can't take that out in the world because, I wouldn't have a job. I would be homeless. You never had that conversation. So the kids never cut it off. So they go to school acting a certain way. They get, they're around their friends acting a certain way. And that's how some of these friends fall out. They become adults. They get in relationships and act a certain way. They with their family acting a certain way. And then them and family fall out. So as this keeps happening over and over and over and over again, it goes back to parenting. And it goes back to the idea that I could do whatever I want and it's not a big deal. And that's usually the normal issue between mothers and fathers. A lot of mothers think stuff isn't a big deal until it becomes a big deal. And fathers like, no, that's a big deal now. You got to cut that out. So that all that I want to be right, when it comes crashing down, like people like, hey man, whatever. I don't know if I can fix this now. And on top of that, you know, you get the moms who taught all this bad stuff and just watched the kid turn 18. I'm done. I just can't take it. I said, I did the best I could. You taught all this dysfunction, and now when it's time to correct it, you wipe your hands because, hey, you know, you 18. Last child support payment came through. I can't take it. And the father's just sitting there like, oh, so now you want me? Now I got to be a father again after fighting you all these years. Interesting. But that's my point. You tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace. You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna take you.